This is Gary Peter Carlson with Mike Burke here on April 5th, 2026. And we're going to talk about souls and related activities on what we know. Uh, Go ahead, Mike. You can start if you have a
All
question.
right.
Start out.
Yeah. So our topic for today, we've been talking about souls, of course, the creation cycle, God's rules basically, and how he sets up our universe. And let's not re-talk about the same stuff we talked about last video. Let's try to touch on some other subjects that we haven't covered yet. Like you were talking about DNA, the different DNA types. We didn't cover that last time.
Okay, I'll bring that up. Okay, what I get is there's roughly 18 lines of DNA that accounts for all living things biological. And nine of them get a soul that has empathy, and nine of them get a soul that doesn't have empathy. Keep in mind that every living thing must have a soul to be alive. If you take away the soul, the living thing dies. There's no such thing as soulless people. And even bacteria has to have a soul to be alive. Now, we'll roughly cover the nine things that have empathy are are the animals, are mammals, birds, fish and major sea life, and another animal group that's not on Earth, but it's probably more similar to mammals than the other ones. And then the plants are flowers, trees, vegetables, and the grasses and ferns and herbs. And then there's microbes for digestion and decay. Those groups there get a soul that has empathy. And those are kind of the better things or the choice things. And then the group that doesn't have empathy, the animals are reptiles, insects, spiders, and then there's slugs and shellfish. And what was you talking about? Pro, uh,
The what?
pro, the stuff that's in your body that feeds off your body and stays
Oh,
alive.
your microbiome, your gut
No,
microbiome.
no, there's a
Oh, parasites. Your gut.
parasites. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of that. The parasites would be in that group.
yeah,
And then for the plants, they got fungus, mold, grains, which is the thing we probably want. Then there's a plant group that's not on Earth, and then there's some various weeds and unwanted plants.
yeah. And
Then
how does?
there's
Oh, sorry.
microbes for disease, and that
Yeah,
kind of covers all 18 things.
18. Okay. And now, how does DNA play into that?
Well, each one
Does
of them is a separate DNA deal.
what I meant was the like your blood type and stuff. How does that determine what kind of soul you have, if it does?
Well, if you're in the if I don't I
Like
don't
Rh
quite
negative.
understand what you're asking, but
Like
those
your
groups, the nine of them have empathy, and the other nine don't have empathy.
right. But you've heard of like Rh negative.
Well, that
You know
I
what I'm
mean
talking.
that's a whole different topic.
Ah, uh,
I mean, yeah,
okay.
there's people that say they got Rh negative blood and this and that. Now,
And they're like,
now we're we're third density beings, self-aware, uh, and there's on each nine, there's three of those. On the nine, on the side with empathy, the three kinds of DNA that can become people or self-aware beings are mammals like us, birds, and vegetables. Believe it or not, there's vegetable people, but they're very rare.
Vegetables. Yeah.
They normally live on a planet that has an ammonia atmosphere, which protects them from the reptilian takeover that Earth is going through now.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I learned something from Cosmic Agency that the gray species, one of the gray species, they have a name. They're called the Atorthans, and they're tall grays.
Okay.
And
They have they're considered insect DNA. Let me
right,
cover the three that don't have empathy first. Okay. The three kinds of people that don't have empathy are reptilians, insects, and spiders. And they can become people depending on the planet and maybe
the arachnid people,
yeah,
they're like, do they? Okay, now,
it would be insect DNA and they wouldn't have empathy. What do
well,
you know about them?
arachnids are not insects. They're a whole different
Oh,
type
that's
of
spiders,
creature.
right?
Yeah, spiders and scorpions are arachnids.
Right. Spiders, one of the groups that can become people and doesn't get and gets a soul without empathy.
Yeah, so to be an arachnid, you have to have 8 legs.
Right.
An
But
insect has
insects
his
have
6 legs.
and two and maybe two pairs of wings.
Yeah, yeah.
Believe it. Right.
So, so I heard, I know this was a long time ago. I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard that there were an arachnid species of people, I guess, and they were very vicious and they attacked people and they ate people, just like in the Lord of the Rings. You see that big giant spider that rolls up. What's his name? Frodo, and he injects him with the venom, right? Well, I heard that's why we have such a primal fear of spiders. A lot of people have a fear of spiders, and that's because we have a memory. We have a like a generational memory of those arachnid people attacking us, just like the reptilians, right? Because we've been at war with the reptilians for a long time. The in the Orion War, right? Is the Orion War was basically the reptilians and the insectoid races and the Greys. That was their side, and
Yeah, it's
then we
supposed to
had
be a big war
the
in the local
Lyrian.
history of our galaxy, but
Yeah.
I don't know much about it.
Well, we don't call humans off planet. We call them what? Lyrans, right? Lyrans. They're based on the
I don't know
Lyran.
about that. I haven't been off planet, but
That's
I
that's
never
what I
heard that.
was.
But
That's what I learned from Cosmic
that
Agency.
other groups don't call us humans, huh? They
Yeah,
call
that's a Earth term. That's what they call us because we're dumbed down due to mind control for so long. And see, we
I
are
don't know why we can't identify as a human if we go off planet, but whatever.
well. You know what human is, like a human. It's based on some kind of genetic experiment that Enki and Enlil started when they manipulated our DNA, but they also installed mind control programs to dumb us down, to make us believe that we were limited in our ability. So naturally, when we're off planet, when our soul isn't contained here on a 3D planet like Earth, we have activated all of our abilities. That means we can remember all of our past lives. We can we can even bilocate, we can teleport, we can walk through walls if we want. we basically become superheroes, like that character Nightcrawler, the X-Men. We can just go through, we can disappear at will, and we can fly in the astral, and we're not limited like we are here because it's solid here in 3D Earth, and in physicality. When you're on a dense 3D planet like Earth, we're limited. We're and a lot of it's due to a collective consciousness that tells us that we can't walk through walls. So we all believe that, and we were born believing that. So collectively, we create those rules for us, and we all agree to that. And so that's why we're not flying like Dragon Ball characters, like Superman, right? But
Hey,
when we're on,
you're reading something to get this information.
yes, I got this from
I mean,
Cosmic Agency.
I don't know how you can be sure that it's truthful or not. Some of
I,
this could be
just like you.
exaggerated or made up. Some of it can be reptilian information.
Well, this isn't reptilian. This is Tyget and Palladian information now, and I believe they're telling the truth as they know it, and I tend to agree with a lot of what they
They're
say.
saying if we go to another planet, all of a sudden we got a bunch of
No,
powers.
no. If you're born on a 3D planet like Earth, you tend to be limited for the rest of your life because your soul frequency, the vibration, the way it vibrates, is sort of locked in, right, with how you were born. But if you were born outside of Earth, like you get out of our solar system, and you're not affected by the frequencies and the energies that are on our planet and around our solar system,
So your
you
mother and
then
father goes to another planet, and you're born,
right,
and
right. Now, if you were
you're
born,
gonna have different. You're gonna be taught by different teachers and be around
yes.
different people.
So like Star Wars, the kids, they grew up, they could move things with their mind. They have what they call
So,
telekinesis, right? And so that's a real thing.
okay, what
Yeah.
I'm told. Okay, what I'm
Jedi,
told.
right?
Where okay, I'll tell you. This is what I know. Each group, each soul group in the universe, it lives for 12 cycles, and then it dissolves where everybody dies and the species is over. There's no group that's been around a million years or anything like that. It's
Really?
around 300,000 to 400,000 years is the maximum any group can live. Now,
No.
when you're in the we're in the third cycle. We're just finishing up the third cycle.
Third cycle.
We're gonna get the fourth density planet in our solar system. It's coming in to 2029 or 2030, and then the people that are in the last quarter of their cycle will be born there and live there.
Yeah.
But the first people will be teleported there when the planet comes in. But what I'm saying is later on when the humans get older, when they go on like the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh cycle,
Yeah.
all those abilities you're talking about, our souls get better, and we develop. Everybody develops all those abilities, and
Right.
we'll be way better. We'll
Will
be
be
highly more skilled and have more talents on how we can use our mind and body when we become older.
yeah. Now,
Right now, we're a young race still, and we haven't developed those things yet.
yeah. Now, I would ask you what you know about the I don't know what you call them. I don't know if you know or follow much of what Elena Danan says, but
Okay,
she's one of
okay. she's a reptilian, and she's got a lot of information that's untrue.
Yeah.
I
I
watched her a little bit, and since she's a reptilian, don't go by her information.
you take everything she says with a grain of salt.
Well, I mean, it could be true or might not be true.
Yeah.
She's going to say things that make herself look more important or better. I
Self-aggrandizing.
watched some videos of her, and I'm familiar
Yeah.
with her, but I I tested her out with the reading, and
Yeah.
she has a reptilian soul. I think
Right.
draconian, which is the worst kind. Let me go. Let me explain these. How you rate a group of a different group like humans or draconians or snake reptilians or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's a there's a scale for each group, and if the group has empathy, uh, either way the scale goes from like 1 to 100. And if the group has empathy, the higher the number, the more positive the group is, and 12 is neutral. So if it has a rating below 12, it would be a negative group. And the higher the number, the more positive. I think humans are around 80 or something like that. We're really positive.
You keep talking. I'm just getting my thing. I can hear you still.
Okay, I was saying on that scale that if you have empathy, the higher the number is how positive you are, and 12 is neutral, and below that is negative. Now, if the group doesn't have empathy, which would be like the reptilians, insect people, and spider people, they have the same 1 to 100 scale, but the higher the number, the more evil or negative they are, and 12 is neutral, and below 12 is positive. If you go on, if you go on my page in my group on my website, I check your soul.
.com.
I don't know if that came out, if you can see that
I can
okay.
see that loud and clear.
Okay, it looks backwards to me. Okay.
Well, it's right.
But
It
anyway,
looks
that's
right
my
on my end.
website. If you go on the Who's in Power page, it shows a few groups and their rating. And the reptilian groups are very negative. The main one that's controlling Earth is called the Draconians. And
Right.
they're like 98 on that scale. They're like super evil. And
Yeah.
then you also got snakes, dragons, and lizards, reptilians that are incarnated in human beings, controlling different countries. You can read about it on my website, and they're rated like in the 60s, so they're like kind of negative, but not as quite as evil as the draconians. And there's like the ant people that live in inner Earth, and they're a positive group, and they have a rating of like 8 or something like that because they're positive. And then there's a group of people that have empathy that some of them are on Earth called the tall whites. They're like a negative group, a very negative group. So they got a rating like 3 or something like that. Below 12 is negative. And I get this rating by dowsing. So
Right.
if it's super accurate or not, I'm not sure.
So you douse everything, but
Yeah,
dowsing dowsing doesn't give you information. It just confirms something, yes or no,
well,
right?
I ask questions and get
Oh,
yes, no, or maybe, or I can get a
but they're
number.
yes,
I
no,
could get a
maybe.
number, like I can count, and it moves when I get to the right number or something.
Right, but it doesn't give you information.
Just yes or no. I gotta,
Just
I
yes or
gotta,
no.
I
Yeah.
gotta say the information and then
Right.
ask if it's true or
So
false or
as we
whatever.
were saying off,
Make a statement and find out if it's true or false.
as
That's
we were saying,
basically
yeah.
how. But I can get a whole lot of. I'm very good with the pendulum, and I can go question after question. I can expand on things.
Hmm. Now, as we were saying off air, we notice, or at least I do, we notice a lot of these UFO or these ufologists, these people in the truther community, they get on these interviews and they start spouting off their information, and we don't, as the audience, we don't know whether or not they're getting this information directly firsthand or they've heard it somewhere else and it's secondhand, and they're
Or
trying to
or
present
or they're making it up.
making it up, bullshit, complete bullshit, right?
Right. Or they
So
heard something and then they stretched it and exaggerated
yeah,
it. And they
right.
want to sound like, hey, I'm a knowledgeable guy. I know all this stuff. Listen to me, you know. There's a
Yeah, so I
lot of
mean,
people like that. There's also a UFO disease. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. What is that, Gary?
Well,
UFO
that's
disease.
where somebody had some event or something like that. Let's say a guy had a normal life, and then one day he walked out in the woods, and a UFO landed, and the beings walked out of the UFO and invited him to walk in the UFO and see all the gauges and how it works and all that. And then he walked back out of the UFO, and then they got back in and they flew away. And
Yeah.
and that's the only thing he did. So he would have a bunch of podcasts talking about that, and maybe even write a book or something like that. And then after he said all that a few times, he said everything he knows about that, and it's kind of over with. And and he's not interesting anymore because everybody heard all he's got.
He's like a
And
one hit wonder.
so what the guy does is he says, "Well, I want to stay in the limelight. I want people to keep listening to me. I want to keep talking to crowds and stuff." So now he invents, and they came back, and then this happened, and that happened, and I met this other group, and he starts making up stuff so that
Yeah.
he can stay popular and
You can
important.
stay relevant.
Yeah, that's called the UFO disease.
Ah,
Some
trying to
people get that. I,
making
I
bullshit
kind
up.
of, I kind of accused Corey Good of that.
Yeah.
He had this. He had this podcast with David Wilcox, Cosmic Disclosure,
Yeah, I
and
saw
he
that.
was talking about all his memories on 20 and back that he remembers
Right.
on the secret space
And he had a
program.
lawsuit. He had a
Right,
lawsuit.
right. And he talked about it for several weeks and came up with everything he could remember or he knew about. And then he kind of ran out of info, and I think that he started making up stuff after that, so
Yeah.
he could stay popular and have
And relevant.
more to
Yeah.
talk about. I'm not
Right.
sure how much he's doing that or not.
I
When
haven't tuned into Corey Good in a while.
when I check his soul, he's one of these people that has a very young soul. He's in like his second life.
Really?
There's a lot of people on Earth that are in their first, second, or third life in third density. On Earth,
Hmm.
we normally get like 108 lives, and then maybe a
108
few
left.
more trying to make ascension to the fifth density. But when you're in your
Wow.
first three lives, your soul's immature, and you
Hmm.
normally get a low soul score and some bad karma, even though you might be. Some of those new people are very spiritually talented, but their talent won't come out real well to help humanity until later lives.
Hmm.
But they've
That's interesting. Oh,
become notable and they're on the internet and they're popular because they do know something or were in a secret space program or did something or whatever.
sorry.
So
Oh,
they're known on the internet, but they're still got a real young soul. There's a few of those.
let's talk about what Corey Good, just briefly, what Corey Good used to talk about on David Wilcox's show. I found his information
It's very
pretty,
interesting, yeah.
yeah, very interesting, very fascinating, eye-opening. Um, Basically, he started off talking about how back in 1986, I believe that was the year, or it was the 70s or something, late 70s, whatever. And he was taken through a program in the military called MyLab Military Abduction. That stands for military abduction. And he, as a kid, was chosen because he is what they call an empath, and that's someone who can pick up on the emotions of others, and he can read emotions, and he can feel what other people are feeling. And usually an empathic person, an extremely empathic person like that,
They have
tends
some
to be,
tests for children and some children come up spiritually talented.
yeah.
What they
Well,
do
usually,
is they abduct them and they put them in the secret space program for 20 years.
yeah,
And they go through their 20 years on the secret space program. And when the 20 years is up, they age regress them back to where they're the same age as when they took them. And they try to wipe their memories of the secret space program. And then they put them right back in the room or the house or wherever they took him, and he goes on and resumes the life that he was in,
right.
and hopefully will have no memories of the secret space program. But then,
They
like
mind wipe you.
5 or 10 years later, the memory wipe didn't work that good, and he starts remembering the stuff on the secret space program. Uh,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
So,
people like that, They were in
so
it. They were in it, and they were age regressed and put back, and like
yeah,
they were in second grade, and they lived until they were 30 or something like that, and then they put them back as a child was in second grade, put them right back in their bed, and they woke up the next day and start going to second grade again, and don't
right.
remember anything about the
So,
secret space program until they get
right.
about 20 years old, and then the memories
Uh,
start coming back.
so how that works is okay. Like I said, he got taken in by this My Lab program, military abduction program. He was gifted. They said he was empathic, so they chose him. He was able to communicate with these extraterrestrials because they're very telepathic, right? And you have to be empathic to sort of, as a human, to pick up on those
They used him
and
for
to
that.
communicate. Yeah,
I don't think he
and
was doing that before they grabbed him, but after they grabbed him, they thought he could do that, so they used him for that. Yeah.
yeah. So they take him, and he said he was taken where to the moon, and then from the moon, did he go to Mars and spend some time on Mars, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
But, I don't know,
Excuse me.
but that
Well,
most of them are go that way. They first go to the moon and they get set up for the secret space program. They get a filed in or whatever,
yeah,
and then they go to Mars and they do work or there on Mars, and after that they might ride spaceships and go to different places. What I
right. And
hear.
there's a way to get to Mars without having to fly there, right? You can just
Yeah,
go into a jump room.
they have
There's
a
a
jump
jump room
room.
in Los Angeles. I heard this. I
Yeah,
don't know where. I don't
nine
remember.
99 Sepulveda Avenue.
Oh, is that you even know the
Yeah,
exact
yeah. I mean,
address?
they say that in the
Right.
videos. I
I
went
see.
there and looked at it. I mean, it's you can go there, but you can't go in the building. They'll stop you from going in the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know if they still have the jump room there or not.
they
I
may
think
have
they
relocated
might
it.
have. He
Well,
said
it's
you
like
go in an elevator
yeah.
and you press some buttons, and it takes about 20 minutes, and the elevator changes shape to round, and you can feel yourself vibrating or
Right.
something, and then it stops, and you open the door and you walk out on
Boom,
Mars.
you're on Mars, right? There's a space, the
He said
time
they
traveler.
improved it along the way. Every year it got better or worked better or whatever.
Have you ever heard of Andrew Basiago? That guy that.
Yeah, I'm in contact with him.
Oh,
I'm
are you?
friendly with him. I can call him and talk to him.
Cool. We
I
should get
have a
him
lot
on.
of times.
We should do a three-way conference call with him sometime. That would be awesome.
Well,
I
he got hit by a directed energy weapon,
ah
so
incapacitated.
he's close to blind, and he's on dialysis. Last
Ah,
I
that
talked to
sucks.
him, he's not doing well
Ah,
because
that
of the
sucks.
because they hit him with a directed energy weapon.
Now let's talk about that. DEWs, directed energy weapons. How do you protect yourself from those weapons? Do you
I don't think
shield
you
yourself?
could.
Yeah, you can. You can shield yourself
Well,
like
I
a
mean,
Faraday cage.
if you know ahead of time they're gonna shoot a directed energy weapon at you, maybe you could take precautions or something. But I mean, most of the time you would just be in a normal place, and
Yeah.
when you least expect it, some guy shoots it at you or something.
Now, where
You
did
wouldn't be ready
these
for it. I mean, if you
where
knew ahead
where are
of
these
time, there might be something you can do. Or
right? So don't go to unfamiliar places, and because these directed energy weapons are hidden, so it's sort of
yeah, I mean, how
plain
much? I
sight.
mean, what do you got to stay home and you can't go anywhere?
Right. Now, are you
I
safe
mean,
just walking around town? Like go to the grocery store. Would they have one in the grocery store that they could hit you with?
I mean, there could be a van in the parking lot when you're walking back to your car, they nail you. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
I
called
mean,
gang
if
stalking.
they're
It's called
after you, they're probably gonna get you
yeah.
if you're not
And
high
what do
up
we
with
call those?
protection and stuff.
What do we call those people who do that? Deep staters. They're called the Men in Black, right?
Could be, yeah. I mean, they have those.
Uh,
Men in Black were generally when someone sees a UFO or some kind of space thing or something that's
UFO crash.
heavy duty unusual,
Yeah.
and they want to start telling everybody about it, and get on TV or the radio or make videos or something like that. These men in black come and threaten you and to tell you you got to keep your mouth shut and you can't talk about it or we're going to kill you or something like that. And they try
Yeah.
to silence you and keep you from talking about the
What was that
incident.
guy's
They
name
scare you.
that was in the same circle as David Wilcock and Corey Good? His last name was Smith. He had a bullet put in his house on his kitchen table to warn him that he should better shut his mouth because he
Yeah,
was in the Air Force.
Emmett Smith or something like that. I don't know.
Emery
Emery
Smith.
Smith, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He has a bunch of podcasts, the
I
Secret
really
Space
like him.
Program.
I think he's a genuine guy. I like him.
They had this outfit called Gaia TV. I belonged to for a while.
Yeah, I've watched
But
that old.
it's owned by a reptilian, and
Yeah, of
he's
course.
forcing some out of line crap on it. So I distanced myself from it a few years
Yeah,
ago. A few
David
years
Wilcock
before
said
that, I
that.
watched it religiously with everything on David Wilcock was
Me
interesting. He had
too. I
two or
was
three
really into
shows.
it.
He had two or three shows, and there were some other shows on there that had some good stuff too. But
So that's fascinating to me because, here I am sitting in my basement, right? And I'm spouting off on all kinds of taboo subjects, right? You name it, I've touched it. And I've gotten attacked. Maybe not by a directed energy weapon, maybe, I don't know. But I've had to be hospitalized many times, because I would say that was mostly due to my alcoholism, which I've recovered from. I'm sober now. But I always wondered, are the feds watching me? Because they would send helicopters that harass
You
me.
think
They would
that you
fly
think they
by.
can't, you think they had a reason to come after you, huh?
Yeah, because I was exposing a lot of the lies, like the jabs, and I was telling a lot of.
How were you exposing lies?
Well, I don't know if you watched my videos, but Irony Films, I'm the CEO founder of Irony Films, and I was
Oh,
exposing
I
nine
never
eleven.
got your video channel. I guess I
Well,
missed it.
well, it's
Okay,
on Telegram. I'll send it to you later, but
okay,
I
yeah.
I, I made this video. It was a 10-minute long video, and it just basically lampooned the whole 9/11 bullshit. How there were no hijackers. It was just, you know, CGI, right? Plane. No, there were no planes. Okay, those are just CGI, edited in the video,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they
If
detonated it with a
if you
controlled
watch the
demolition.
plane hit the building, it melds into the building
Right. I did a whole
instead of
video
hits
on
and
that.
cracks up like it normally it would hit, and the wings and everything would bust up and shatter. But instead, it just morphed into the building,
Right. And
which
so I did other things. I was LARPing as a hacker that hacked into the FBI database and the mainframe, and I stole all your data belonged to us, right? I was just playing around, I was dicking around, right? And I was getting into it. I was like really getting. I was role playing. I was like, yeah, I'm this elite hacksaw, and because I'm a cybersecurity consultant. I have a degree. Well, I almost got a degree, a master's in cybersecurity. I've studied it. That was my postgraduate studies. I was in cybersecurity anyway.
what do you have a
I
degree in?
I have a degree in economics and Japanese language and, well, foreign languages, and I did my postgraduate in cybersecurity.
Oh, so you can speak Japanese, and what other language can you speak?
It's just a little bit of Spanish because I studied in high school, but I'm not really good at Spanish.
But you could go to Japan and talk to the people there.
Yeah, yeah, I've lived there. I used to teach English there, so
Uh-huh.
it's very very fascinating country. I love Japan. I mean, Japan's a popular place. What's not to like about Japan? But when you go to Japan, you learn a lot of things that the Japanese take for granted. Like, for instance, the belief in ghosts, right? Japanese people know about the spirit realm and that ghosts exist, and they talk about it openly as if it's just a fact of life. But here in America, at least, it's something that can't be confirmed or denied. Really, it's fantasy, or it's relegated to like TV shows and movies and stuff. But in Japan, it's like if it's a, I was teaching some kids, back in 2015. I asked them, "Hey, have you ever seen a UFO? Have you ever seen an alien before?" I asked them, and they said, "Yeah," or I don't know. Some of them said, "Yeah," no, but and then they asked me, "Have you ever seen a ghost?" And I said, "No, I've never seen a ghost." But they said, they have like poltergeists and stuff, and it's just fascinating. The former FBI agent, his name is John D'Souza. I don't know if you know him, but he
Yeah,
was the
I heard
guy.
of him and saw some of his stuff. He has some
He's
interesting things.
he, he's awesome, and he was talking about how the Japanese. He wrote in his book, I think, that the Japanese, they really believe in the spirit world, and by the way, John D'Souza was the man behind the X Files. They took the FBI. They took his field, his field reports. He was assigned a real unit in the FBI called the X Files. I think that's what they called it, or it was the paranormal division of the FBI, right? And he was studying cases that involved Gary. Am I talking too long?
Yeah. No,
Sorry. You just tune
I
out.
messed up.
You just
Yeah.
tune out.
Yeah,
Am I boring
I
you?
blanked out. No, no, you're
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. All right.
Ask questions more, maybe.
You don't want to hear me talk. All right.
No, go ahead. You're talking
Okay.
about the Japanese seeing ghosts and
Right. And
things.
John D'Souza, right? He's really he wrote a book, right? And I wish I had read it, but
What's his book called?
I don't remember. But just go on Amazon and look up John D'Souza. It's JOHN
He was in the
DE
FBI or something, right?
XOUSA. Right. Right. He was the paranormal division of the FBI, and they
Oh,
based
was he?
yeah, and they based the X Files, the truth is out
Oh,
there,
okay.
on his case files, right? And
Oh, really?
that was fascinating to me. I was like, wow, cool. And here he
Uh-huh.
is on YouTube talking about it openly. Yeah, I find him very very interesting fellow.
But
But
he also points out how they're doing out of line things and
right.
lying and stuff too, right? He shows where their evil is being done,
Well,
right?
the FBI is corrupt to the core, as is the CIA. The top level of these intelligence agencies.
That's because they have people with reptilian souls running it.
Right. And that goes for a lot, most of the power structures,
Mhm.
institutions on Earth, just about everywhere we go, especially America. Now, elsewhere, like Russia, they've ousted those guys a while back. Like Putin's Russia, he's kicked out the Rothschilds, out of their country. They're not
Okay, but
allowed.
there's some of them still there. But the
Sure.
difference is United States is run by reptilians that have a draconian soul, and Russia is run by reptilians that have a lizard soul.
So
And
are they
they're not they're less evil, and the lizards wants the humans to do good, and they want the humans to like them so they can remain in power and keep running and controlling things.
yeah,
Whereas the draconians want to enslave everybody. They want to make it real hard and
yeah.
horrible and kill
They
people and all that.
they accept no peace. They're about command and conquer, like
Yeah,
divide and conquer.
the draconians start all the wars. They start the wars uh, where the lizards aren't into starting wars. And then there's some countries are run by the Middle East is run by reptilians that have a snake soul, and the Far East is run by reptilians. You take too big of a bait there.
no, I just got for some reason I
Yeah,
sneezed.
the Far East is run by reptilians that have a dragon soul.
Uh,
I think about half the people with reptilian souls, about half or more have draconian souls.
you know what I
And
heard
they're
about?
the only ones that have the high technology and they're able to clone.
Right. You know what I
What?
heard about the Draconians?
Okay, what?
I heard that this is no, I heard this from Cosmic Agency. I got most of my good information from Cosmic Agency. I definitely recommend
Cosmic
everyone listen.
Agency.
Yes, with Coach. That's Gosha Dusix.
Is that a website, cosmicagency.com or something?
Nope, that's a YouTube channel. Her website is
It's a
called something
YouTube
else.
channel called Cosmic Agency.
Yes, it's been
Okay,
around since
I'll check it
2018.
out. What?
Yeah, it's been around since 2018. And her website, Gosha's website, that's a different. It's swaru.org. It's SWARUU.org. Now, you used to interview with a man named Alfred Lambermont Weber. Am I
Right.
right? Well, he interviewed Gosha a while back when her channels first started, and he
He
said
interviews
he
everybody.
said yeah, he said that Gosha's information was disinformation, and she was talking to an AI that was an entrained AI, and all of it, and he just basically dismissed it. So you know what, Alfred Lambermont Weber, I dismiss everything you have to say. Ever since I heard him do that, I was like, man, this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets a vibe or something comes up where he might go against somebody. But
Yeah,
generally he does good, but sometimes he can make errors or make mistakes.
well, that
But
was a big
but
error.
he
Sorry.
the Draconians did something to his mind and they captured him
Oh, is that right?
and they ruined his mind and he went with it too because now he used to have like a 56 soul score and hardly any bad karma. And now he's got like a 36 soul score with 5x bad karma. So
Wow.
they did something to his mind, and he went along with it. And he won't interview. He still interviews people, but it's very he won't
He fell
interview
off the
me.
map.
He'll interview the people selling that. What
That
is that?
supplement.
That the supplement with the
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
when
forget what
it's a
it's
mix with
called.
olive oil, the 60 DNT or the
Yeah.
carbon 60 and the olive oil.
That's like snake oil, man. Like what? What? I mean, come on, man. Like what?
I mean, there's a few people selling that. I
Is
tried
it?
it. I tried it for a while. I didn't think it did much to me, so I quit. It was expensive, so I quit getting it.
Yeah.
But
It's
they're pushing that like crazy, claiming it's a fix-all world.
what a
Makes you
scam.
it makes
Uh,
your molecules work right because they got the carbon 60 in there. I mean, our life
yeah.
is based on carbon, and we
Right.
breathe oxygen. If you go on my website on the God, Matter, and Life page and look at the life section, there's like 6 elements life can be based on. I think it's like carbon, silicon, boron, magnesium, chromium. Uh, there's a couple more I can't think of. And there's like 5 different atmospheres beings can breathe on different planets.
What section is it in?
What'd you say?
What section is that part on your website?
Oh, it's on my God, Matter, and Life page.
Ah, there it
And then
is.
scroll down to where you get to the life section. About halfway down there. You should look for it when we're not in a video, probably.
Well, I'm listening. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
find it here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I put the different information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about. Do you know anything about USMC Special Service Randy Kramer? He's that Mars Defense Force
Oh, Randy
super.
Kramer. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We could talk a little bit about him.
This. You want me to start?
Okay, what I know about Randy Kramer is he has a reptilian soul, which means that what he says is probably not truthful, and he's saying stuff to promote himself. I've seen him have fights and arguments with Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot and other people.
She's hard to get along with,
Yeah, these
but
people with reptilian souls think they're real special and everything, I guess.
yeah, I suppose
What do
so.
you
What do
know
you know
about them?
about him? Well, I know. I listened to him back when he came out back in like I don't know, what was it, 2016, 2017-ish. And he was saying that he was a super soldier baby. Like they created him
Right.
from the womb. They genetically engineered him to be the super soldier, right? And he spent time on Mars as part of the Mars Defense Force, the NDM or Mars, yeah, NDF,
Yeah.
sorry,
He
MDF,
talked about that a lot when I heard.
right? And he said he went to Mars. He did a 20 and back program just like Corey Good. And on Mars, there exists bases for humans, reptiles, and insects. Okay. And every once in a while, the humans will, go to battle. Well, that's why they sent him there. So he claims
Yeah,
is
they
to
have
is to fight.
a fake battle with the reptilians or something every once in a while. He's talking about that. They
Are
fight
they
with
fake?
sticks or something.
I'm sorry.
They fight with sticks or something, he
No,
was
no, no,
saying?
no, 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 no. They use high velocity rifles that shoot these large BBs, like spherical projectiles that are shot with like a magnetic, a phased plasma rifle, and like super high velocity metal uh, projectiles that can pierce through the hard shell of the reptile because they're very, they're armored, right? They have this
Their
real
skin's
thick
like hard,
skin.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can't with regular bullets that we have here on Earth, they just don't. They'll just ricochet off their armor,
No,
right?
I'm told you can kill. I'm told you can kill them with an M16.
I heard different. I don't know, but I've also heard not just from
M16
him.
is a very powerful weapon. I mean,
It
maybe
is,
maybe a small handgun might not do something, but
but you'd be surprised. These reptilians are elite soldiers, warrior class beings, okay? And they're huge. And they're very fast and they're very psychic, okay? They can read your mind and they can predict what you're going to do before you even do it. So if you're trained in martial arts, you're doing this kung fu shit, blocking shit, they can predict what you're going to do before you even do it. I mean, you have to be like Bruce
right,
Lee
and
in
they
order
and,
to
and
keep
they
up
can
with him.
they can put things in your mind to make you think
Yeah,
something else.
to intimidate you, right? And it's very piercing, and it's like So he was sent to Mars to train for the Mars Defense Force to learn how to go to battle with these reptilians and these insectoids. And he said something very interesting to me. He said that for the most part, the insectoid races and the reptilian races keep to themselves and they don't bother the humans on there. As long as you don't tread on their territory, you're good. And they respect you and your space on Mars, right? But every once in a while, like if if a soldier should, a human soldier should tread on their territory, oh,
They
well,
start,
that's
they start a war, huh?
yeah, they'll start a skirmish, a little battle there, and you have to like be prepared, because he would get his legs blown off, right, in the middle of battle, and then he would, have to get into the cellular regeneration med beds, which, their
Yeah, I
version of
heard
it.
you lose limbs on Mars. They got doctors that can make the limb grow back overnight or something.
Yeah, they use a device called a cellular regeneration med beds, and that's old technology. The humans have access to a very primitive or old archaic version of that. The ones they have now will do it like this. And but anyway, they put them in, if you lost your limbs or whatever, you could go right back on the battlefield. They send a medic craft to go pick
Oh,
your
they can
body
fix
up.
it in minutes, and you're right back fighting, huh?
Yeah, uh-huh. Now, have you ever read the book Elder's Game? Or yeah, is it no,
I
not
think I
Elder's
heard
Game.
of it. I know I
It's
haven't
a
read it.
it's a book and a movie. No, it's based. Okay, these kids, right? They're taken in this secret space program, and they have to float, like they're in this like big room that has no gravity, and they're floating, and they're learning to duck and dodge and fly and dodge the other team. Like they have to play against this other team, and basically that's a training program for in the future when humans go to war with these ETs, these you know reptilians and insectoids. They have to train them, and that book was about that. And basically, he was reiterating what they do there as a super soldier, right? And he said that they have a very fascinating culture. Not all of them hate humans, he said, and they are very they're almost like the Japanese in a way, like the way of the samurai. They have their swords, right, and they have their katana, right, and they're just like the way of the sword, the Bushido code, right, and they exchanged their culture with him, and he found it very touching and fascinating. And I myself, when I heard that, I was like, if he's telling the truth, that sounds really cool. That sounds badass. I would love to meet a friendly reptilian. I would rather be friends with them than go to war with them, constantly be at war with them. Maybe someday we will. We'll see eye to eye. And
When I heard, when I listened to his podcast when he first came out, he talked about where the reptilians and humans would have a mock battle and they'd all
mock
fight
battle,
with
yeah.
sticks.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't
they'd
hear
have
that.
a big war with each other. They all had a big stick fighting each
Like,
other, and
oh, is that
nobody really
like
got hurt. But he said the humans would have got crushed real bad if the
yeah.
reptilians tried harder, but they didn't. And then it made the battle go good, and then it was over with. It was just training or something.
Have you seen that show in the 90s called The Gladiators? And they get up on these pedestals and they have these jousting sticks and they just beat each other to death with the sticks and they try to knock off their opponent off the ledge. Is it like that?
I think I saw the movie The Gladiators, but it was years and years and years ago.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
remember it.
No, no, no. This was like it's one of those like sports entertainment shows that they had
No,
in the
no, okay,
90s.
I ain't
It's
seen
called
it.
The Gladiators, and they did all these weird games like
Oh,
obstacle courses. They had to run an obstacle course, and then they had this one game where the guy would like you'd run up to a wall, and there would be like this thing you'd shoot, and you had to like shoot the target, and the guy at the other end of the room would be shooting at you with these tennis balls that would go like 200 miles per hour, and you had to dodge that, and then you get to the next one. You have to run and then get to the next one, and so you get really close up to it, and so you could point your little I don't know like your Nerf dart to hit the target,
all right.
and you'd
What?
win. You'd win if you did that.
Oh,
It was a fun, it just reminds me of that. Like
okay. So what else?
what else?
Randy Kramer said he was on Mars for years and years.
20 years.
I get that that's not true. He was just
Dude, that's
coached on
true.
all this stuff to say.
Where the hell does he get all this information from? Like, why is he
He talked
LARPing?
to other people that were there, and he got briefed, and he got a long bunch of information.
What about
He said he saw a draconian reptilian fighting a Martian reptilian, and the Martian reptilian won
what
or
else?
whatever. It was a big fight to the.
Insectoids would come and fly down, and he also met ant people on Mars as well. And they have ant people down in the underground, in the tunnels and stuff, in the Agartha network. They call it the Agartha network, right? There are ETs living in inner Earth, and they call that whole ET civilization the Agartha network. And there's an entrance in Antarctica that you can
Right,
go
that's
down.
right where the North South Pole is or something.
Right.
There's a big hole. They
Well,
block you from going over it with an airplane or something.
there's a huge circular wall around on Antarctica that hides this huge spaceport that exists on Antarctica. Where did I hear this from? What source? I'm citing my sources. Again, Cosmic Agency. Okay? I learned this from Cosmic Agency.
Okay.
And so that you hear people talk about this wall, right? This giant ice wall, right? Well, most people when they say, "Oh, I saw this ice wall," we live on this flat disk, right?
Yeah, they're talking about flat Earth
It's
stuff.
bullshit. It's stupid. Well,
It
they
is. It
haven't.
is.
You can actually fly to Antarctica and go there, and there's land there that isn't. You can
You get
see
over the ice
rocks.
wall, and there's new lands that never been to. Yeah, I know. It's all
Well,
bullshit.
the glaciers are pretty tall. They're like 100 feet tall glaciers. Okay,
Oh,
but
on
that's
the outside where
on the
the ocean.
outside of Antarctica, right?
Yeah, but
And
you
you
can
go
go
up there.
on. You can go on that in that article.
Right. In the center of Antarctica, there's like an oasis, right? It's got green grass and stuff.
You can go under the ice and go to that or something too.
Right. And there's a 300-foot circular wall that covers the spaceport, they call it. and in the center of it, there's a portal because Earth is a torus, right? And it's like it's like an apple, right? And it's like this, and there's an entrance on the North Pole and the South Pole, and you can go like back in the 30s. I think it was this guy in the Navy. His name was Admiral Byrd, and
Yeah, he
Operation
has a bunch of stories on that. Yeah,
Operation
Operation High Jump.
High Jump, yeah. And he went
Right,
down there,
they sent a Navy force to try to take out these
Nazis, yeah,
Nazis that had flying saucers from the World War II or whatever.
yeah. And they
And
call
they
that
got beat real bad, and they lost all kinds of people on planes and sent
yeah, they
after.
lost basically.
They
Yeah,
sent
they got their ass
after.
kicked.
Right.
And he flew his his prop plane. This is this is World
Yeah, he said
War
he
One.
went into inner Earth and there, and
He flew in
yeah, some
there. Okay,
stories about that. Yeah,
yeah, and he met the Agarthan people, and they look human just like us, right?
they guided his plane to land and all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And the Nazis, they call this place New Schwabenland, right? That's
their
what they call it.
section of where they have their base. Yeah,
Yeah, and there's inside it is like a hollowed out cavern.
you
Have
take
you
a
ever?
submarine, go under the ice, and you get to it. I think.
Yeah, and if you've ever been inside an igloo, in an igloo, it's it's an open space, but the walls are like real slick. It's made of compacted snow, and inside, if you heat it up, you can get you get warmth in there, and it's just like you could live in there comfortably, and you can move around and you can fly and stuff. It's huge, these caverns that are in there.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of places you can explore down there, and there's a movie that came out called King Kong versus Godzilla that came out like not too long ago, and they sort of did an expose on that was like soft disclosure, explaining that yeah, you could go in inner Earth. There's like a sun in the inner Earth. I don't I don't know. It has its own like world. It's like a whole new world. It's like upside down world in there, right? It's cool. If you ever seen it, you should watch it.
Okay.
But
What's it called again?
it's called King Kong versus Godzilla. I
Oh,
think it
King
was.
Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it has Antarctica in the movie, huh?
Yeah, King Kong goes in there and like saves the day or something. I forgot what the plot of the movie was.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know,
Okay.
but it was interesting. You could see what Inner Earth supposedly looks like in that movie.
All right. You had about enough. You want to end the video?
Yeah, are you getting tired?
Yeah, I don't know if we've got any more good data here.
Well, I mean,
I think the Draconians are planning on some evil stuff to kill 1 billion people. I think they're working up to do that.
you don't think their
Putting
time
in
is
their
up,
plans.
Gary? You don't think their time is up?
Well, no, they got the oil blocked, the fertilizer blocked. They're doing things on the banking. They're
So
setting
what?
up to
So
starve a
what?
lot of people to death.
We
But
gotta,
we'll see if it happens or not.
dude. Like our food supply
There's
chain.
all kinds of stories, controlled demolition of the world, and it says whatever you need to get it now. All the shipping's going to stop. Food's
That's
going to
fear
stop.
mongering. Fear
Yeah, I
mongering.
mean, they're right. There's a lot of it being going on. I mean,
Yeah, they've been saying that for a while now.
I got stored food and water in case they shut
Yeah,
off everything. But
I mean, it's smart to stock up on at least a month's supply of food that isn't perishable. You get water, stock up on
yeah,
some water. Fill up your gas tank. Maybe fill up, get a few gallons of gas.
uh-huh.
Because maybe we won't get gas for oil for a while. But I don't see that happening. Actually, I think this war on Iran is going to end soon because they're being exposed. This is a farce, man. It's a rich man's game. It's like they play both sides. It's like they're
I mean,
funding Iran.
they sent a couple oil tankers to Europe because they're not getting any oil, and the reptilians turned them away and sent them to Africa.
well,
Yeah. So
I
the Europe and Australia are not getting any fuel. They're going to have a lot of trouble with people getting gas and running the power plants and stuff.
That's because Europe made this deal. They didn't want to take Russian oil for the longest time. And now that they got their oil cut off from Iran, they're like, oh, Russia, can you give us oil? And Putin was like, nope, you ain't getting oil from us.
Ukraine hit the refineries in Russia, so 40% of the Russian oil is cut off too, so they're having trouble.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though. I don't know if that's true. I don't know that. I think Russia
I've seen it
kicked the
from
living daylights out of them.
videos on
Okay.
Colonel Douglas McGregor and Scott
yeah.
and
is that right?
and
Yeah.
another guy that's pretty I forget his name. All right, let's leave it there, and
yeah,
we'll do another one of these pretty soon.
All right, man. Later.